Okay, thanks. All right, so it's 5:15 on Monday, June 23rd, so I'll call to order this New Ulm Human Rights Commission meeting. The first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the 5/28/25 meeting. Those are attached. I'll give everybody a minute to review. Just go ahead and speak up if you have questions or comments. Any questions or comments on the minutes from 5/28? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I make a motion to approve the May 28th meeting minutes.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. And then next on the agenda, the budget. So the first is the current financial report, which is attached. You'll see that some more items have come out. We got the parade registration fee for Bavarian Blast, the fair booth fee, and the Bavarian Blast 5K sponsorship. And we still have 92% of the budget for the year. Any questions on that? Okay. Then the second item under budget is the 2026 request. So the request for $9,000 was submitted. The work session is scheduled for July 15th. The prelim budget to be approved is attached. So again, we're requesting $3,900 for community events and promotional materials, $500 for the Human Rights Award, $2,400 for the Living Without Limits series, and $2,200 for the program expenses for a total of $9,000. Any questions on that item? Mayor, are we supposed to have somebody, a representative at that work session? I feel like I remember that from the last meeting.
You could, but I don't think so.
Okay.
You know, it's generally, the people that I have seen come to those commission or those meetings have been people outside of the city
Okay.
commissions, like some of the not-for-profits, et cetera.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
If that's not true, I'll let you know.
Okay, perfect. All right, so then we're down to the events committee for the HRC-sponsored events. So first is the Immigration Forum that's presented by Copal. That's tomorrow, June 24th at 6:30 at the New Ulm Library. The flyer is attached. This went out on the city website, and it was emailed to the city council, the New Ulm PD, and the sheriff. And it's been shared on Facebook and social media, so hopefully we'll have a good turnout. They're going to live stream it. The link is attached to the flyer so people could access it ahead of time. I think we're all set to go on that. Any questions or discussion? And then the next item on that events committee is the Welcoming Week event, which is planned for September 19th, 2025, from 5:30 to 7:30 in the parking lot, set up to begin at 4:30. So right now we have... From the items I had, we have 2 food trucks confirmed. I'm still working to confirm a total of 4 food trucks. So I've been communicating with them. Park and Rec on the Go is coming. I'm going to touch base with them to see if they can get the bounce house. They wanted to wait until it was closer. If not, then we're going to rent a bounce house We still need the flyer so we can start sending that out for people, for organizations that want to participate. Casey was working on that, so I'll touch base with her on that. We'd like to get it out and distribute it because it has the link. So other organizations can just set up a table. And we just want to get an idea of how many people are coming. Do you have any updates on your items?
Yeah, I have a contract that can be, or I need to return it. I wanted to make sure that we're all good to go for the restrooms and everything. Lisa has that.
Perfect.
She's seen it. We can leave it up over the weekend because I'll pick it up Monday. And
Okay.
Chris confirmed that was okay, Dalton. So
Awesome.
we're good.
Perfect.
What I just still have to do is get chairs, tables. I don't know, is there anywhere else in the city we can rent those from? Reason I'm asking, if we need to get the bounce house from Mankato, then we can just get table and chairs from the same place.
Yep.
If we don't need to, I'd rather
Just stay in New Ulm.
stay in New Ulm. I don't know.
I feel like there has to be some place, but
It's like tables and chairs that we could.
yeah, that we
Yeah,
can rent
I
or
mean,
use.
We brought them last time, so I don't know if you want to do that again.
We could. We just wanted more this time.
Yeah.
So that was the
Yeah.
only
I
thing.
wanted like some banquet tables
Yeah.
and some,
Yeah.
like from, A to Z rental has them, but.
There's
They do.
Yeah, they do. It just, if we didn't
Expensive,
also need to
probably.
get the bounce house, I wouldn't want to go to, if we can get, if
Sure.
we can resource them from somewhere else, I guess,
Yeah.
within town, in town.
I feel like I asked last year if there was anything from the city we could use, and I think Lisa said no, so we'd have to look for a rental. I'm not sure.
Okay.
When you
I
said
can-
A to Z, I thought you meant A to Zinnia, sorry.
No, A to Z. I almost said A to Z because it rolls off the tongue. Shout out to them. But no, A to Z in Mankato, which is, I think, where the bounce house last year came from. So, it's fine if we have to do that.
Okay.
I can get them.
We can do some research and see if we can
Yeah.
find them in town. Perfect.
I would suggest reaching out to Joey Shugo.
Okay.
from Park and Rec, just to see if
Okay.
they might have some
Sure.
available. That maybe they aren't the premium ones that they use indoors, but they might have.
They're not, yeah, that's fine. They can be outdoors.
Perfect. And then are you still, I think I sent you an email to see if your partner could do music again?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
said
he's
yes.
good.
He
Okay,
said
perfect.
yes.
So that's good. And we have the same like the electricity. I confirmed with Lisa that we can use on the city building like we did last year. We talked about a tent possibly because I remember you guys were like baking in the sun last year.
Very hot.
And you know,
Okay.
we have one actually.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
do we,
So,
I'll probably bring it for whoever wants it,
yeah.
whether it's us or another group. Yeah, it was a little
A little toasty.
toasty.
I mean, I think we're right on track for that event. I might reach out if anybody has thoughts on food trucks, if I can give people the list I've asked already. I'm just having trouble getting answers back from some of them, but I have a few more to try. I'm just trying to do one at a time because we're trying to get a variety of cuisines, so I don't want to,
Yeah.
do all at once and then get all of the same thing, so. But I'll reach out if I need help, if anybody has thoughts.
Also, we haven't gotten here yet, but it's relevant to this. I was supposed to go through the city council meeting, and I saw that they did approve, they put an addendum to May's meeting, and they approved the 30 parking lots that
Oh,
we needed for this
perfect.
event.
Awesome, so that's good.
That's the only thing that was relevant to us, so.
Perfect. So yeah, so that, I mean, we're way ahead of schedule, so just keep trucking along. Any other questions on the welcoming week? All right, so then we're on to the events committee for the participating events. So first is the Bavarian Blast 5K run, coordinated by the Wellness Collective. That's the 19th of July. We did already pay for the sponsorship donation. So we just have to decide what we would like, because our logo will go on the bags, correct?
Yep, and the t-shirt.
And the t-shirts. We'll just have to decide if we want to put anything else in the bags and just get that to them, so. We will have a meeting. We will not have a meeting before then. So I can work on getting that stuff then. I'll maybe just coordinate with you for a contact.
Yeah.
And then we can get whatever to them. Any questions on that? Bavarian Blast Parade, which is Sunday, July 20th. We did pay the registration fee. We need volunteers. Does anybody have an update on that?
We can walk, my family can walk.
I feel like did we do a sign up with last year like we did, just so we kind of
Yeah.
had an idea? And I don't know if we want to walk or if there's anybody with an available vehicle. I am out of town that weekend.
I am as well.
I'm gonna make a note. I'm gonna make a note to just, who is on this events committee? On the
I am.
participating?
I am too.
Yeah, okay,
Although I think I've been out of time for all of the meetings.
okay. I wonder if we should ask Lisa to just throw a quick one together, just to like shore up who's gonna be at the parade and what vehicle, or we don't need to use a vehicle, but just what the plan is. So we'll ask Lisa to throw a meeting together quick before that, since we don't have another HRC meeting before the parade. Sound okay? Okay. New Ulm Night Out, which is Thursday, July 31st. We submitted the registration form. It's at German Park. The rain location is the Civic Center. So we'll just need a couple volunteers to that too. And maybe if we have Lisa set up a meeting, you guys could just do a volunteer for all three things and then good to go. I should be able to do that one because I'll be here that night. But yeah, we could just throw together a volunteer sign up so then we just have an idea of who's coming. And then Brown County Fair, Wednesday, August 6th through Sunday, August 10th. The registration fee has been paid, and again, volunteers are needed for that as well. And then the South Central Minnesota Pride Fest Parade and Festival, which is Saturday, September 6th. Parade, and then, which is free participation, and then the festival vendor, 12 to 4. That registration fee is $45 until July 14th. Discuss interest in participating in parade and/or exhibitor booth, and that information is attached. The previous 2 years, we participated in the parade and not done a vendor booth. So the parade is 11:15 to 12. Participating in the parade is free. The parade route was through downtown. I didn't go last year, but the year before we just brought like stickers and things to throw and had the banner that we carried.
I think the parade for sure is, I think the parade is worthwhile. I didn't attend last year, but the year before I was able to go. It's free. I think we've always been able to have at least a few people walk in it. We've been able to pair in the past with another New Ulm group, and I don't know if that's a possibility again, which has been kind of nice because then it's bigger numbers.
Yeah, I
But
can talk to one New Ulm, I think, is who you used to partner with.
yeah,
For years. I've never been able to go because I've always been out of town, but I would talk to them.
yeah. So, I think the parade definitely would be worthwhile. I don't know what everyone else thinks about, the exhibitor.
I know the year I went to the parade, we got a lot of really good feedback from other participants and people at the parade that they were happy to see our group participating. I think the vendor thing is harder to staff and harder to get prepared for, but I agree. I like at least participating in the parade. We've gotten, I said, really good feedback, and it was nice to partner with One New Ulm the last couple of years too, because you just have a bigger group.
Yeah, I would say not the exhibitor booth because we've got the Brown County Fair, which is a lot. We have a lot of commitments already.
Absolutely, I agree. Other discussion? Would there be a motion?
I move that we participate in the Pride Fest parade on September 6th in Mankato, but not have an exhibitor booth.
Second.
Any other discussion? All approve, say aye. Same sign. That motion passes. We can let Lisa know to submit that registration. All right, Education Committee report. First item is the community surveys, discuss printing and distribution of surveys.
We did not discuss that. How does that fall under the education
I'm not,
group?
I feel like it landed there because we were talking about maybe using it to drive some of the
Yeah.
like
be.
activities. We can move it to, I mean, we can discuss it as a group too.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be the education committee.
So after last month's meeting, I looked at the survey again to see if we had results, and we do have results.
Nice.
We have 18 responses.
That's really actually good.
So, apologize that I didn't look there earlier because I didn't think we would have that many. So, I think it's probably something we need to look at as a subcommittee of what the responses were.
I wonder if what we could do is, since we have all these events coming up, if we could have the QR code for the parade, the night out, and the free fair, and then
Yes.
do an evaluation of the results.
think that's a great
like
idea.
in the fall. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like get the print some,
Have some more,
print the
yeah.
QR codes, have it
Hopefully
advertised,
more
try and get more
numbers.
responses, and then we could, put it on the agenda for September, October, whenever. We could even do it in October.
Would we
after
have
the-
it available tomorrow night too?
We could. I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
we could have it available tomorrow, so we could have it at all our events, and then maybe in October, we could,
Yeah.
discuss all of the results.
I think that's a good idea.
Just do a lot of information gathering over the summer, since we do have so many events.
It's interesting when you look at the time stamps. There was basically 2 periods where we had a bunch of responses, and it was last July when we first rolled it out, and then February
Interesting.
23rd or
Is that when
13th and 14th.
Is that when it went out in the paper? It went out in the paper.
So that must be why. So, I mean, that's when we got 14 of the responses.
Yeah, I bet that's
So-
why. So yeah, so we could just kind of gather information.
Yeah, and I think that was the intention, is
Yeah.
kind of on a rolling basis, because we want to get enough different people to respond.
Respond. Perfect. I have a copy of the QR code.
That was going to be my question.
I can print it when I can't come tomorrow, but I can
Send it to me.
send it to you. And then if you can print
Yep, I'll
it,
print
and then we
it.
can have it, and I'll maybe just also have Lisa send it out to everybody too, because then other people can have it if they just need to grab it if they're at an event and whatever.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Then Living Without Limits, the education subcommittee met before this meeting.
I don't know if you want to talk about where we're at for next steps.
Sure. So we basically figured the structure would be one meeting per quarter, essentially. We had a list of people that we looked through and have a general idea of, what topic we would like to discuss for each event, and a couple of different people that we plan on reaching out to check for their availability. Ideally, mid-July. We would also have to partner with NewCat to figure out dates that they would be available for filming as well,
Do you guys need that contact information?
probably.
I'll send it to you. I have it.
Okay.
Yep.
And what else?
Well, I think what we need at this point is for other people on the commission. So I've already reached out to a couple people. I've gotten a couple panelists who are interested, but I think we need the entire group to leverage their network a little bit for some of these issues. We also had questions about the human library. If you could speak a little bit more to it. We were looking at it again and trying to decide, does this fit? Maybe that's the 4th event, is like a human library. Is it
Yeah, so I reached
a bunch
out
at
to
a time?
Sorry?
Is it a bunch of people at a time? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I reached out to the librarian, and he is willing to work with us on
Yeah.
that. The Human Library prefers to work with libraries
Yep.
versus organizations, so we could partner through them. And what they are requesting is to have 10 books. So 10 volunteers who would serve as books or who would tell their story, essentially. And then once we get that, then we apply for Leroy, the librarian, knows all the
Yeah,
ins and
yeah.
outs. But yeah, that's what they're looking for.
Does the organization requesting to put it on, so in this case us, would we be the ones who find those panelists, or they already have people who are,
We would find them. So just
Okay.
very similar to this.
okay. So that doesn't really absolve us of the responsibility of finding the people. Okay. So I think that helps to know that. And looking at the list of the different ideas that they suggested gave us a couple ideas of maybe some underrepresented or groups that maybe we didn't think of before. So that was helpful. I don't know if we're going to get 10 people.
I know that was our problem too, because
Yeah.
One New One was working with them, but we couldn't.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even getting the 10. I think we had 6. So 10 was a little bit of a stretch, but then also every volunteer who's speaking, like a book, also has a volunteer with them to kind of keep the flow of things going, but also to monitor the interaction and engagement and make sure that no one's getting, combative or no one's standing on their soapbox or whatever. So it's volunteer heavy, and we didn't have the manpower.
Yeah, I don't think
So
we do.
Is that facilitated like a person that they provide?
Not necessarily.
Wondering like what part they
Oh, the
what
the
they
HLO.
do, you know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
what they provide is they provide training. So once you register with them and they accept your application, then there is a training that the books go through to learn how to share their story without having a position or without triggering people, and then also how to take comments and questions without being triggered. So that's what they provide.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then their name, I guess, because people kind of know what the Human Library Organization is and does.
So essentially, you need 20 volunteers to get
So-
it going.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what when we first did it, I think we had 4 or 5 and they were fine with that. And then all
Okay.
of a sudden they were like, we want you to have 20
Okay.
or we want you to have 10.
Okay.
And it doesn't necessarily need to be one-on-one volunteer. It could be like maybe 1 volunteer per 2 books, probably. So maybe like
Okay.
15 to 20 volunteers.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know why all of a sudden they had this requirement.
Probably they wanted to make their training time worthwhile,
Maybe
I'm guessing. I don't know how long the training.
it's like a video that they have like this whole website set up, and then the book gets a login, and then they log in, and then they can watch the video.
Yeah.
So next step would be to help you guys find our
Yes.
first session.
Well, I think I at least have the first, if not the first 2 sessions.
But then after that,
But we need more
Okay.
reach from the rest of the commission.
Okay. I can reach out to Lisa again. I know my ask last time was that everybody submit so many ideas, and I don't think you got a very
They were mostly
long
mine.
list. Yeah, yeah. I think I just had a couple on there. So, I mean, just if people could just really give it some thought and think on it. I'll have Lisa send out another email to the entire commission of just like, if we want to get this going, we need to have the commission to
Yeah.
participate and help us come up with
Well,
ideas.
and not just names, but also
Contact.
reach out to those people and gauge their interest.
Okay.
I think that's, in order to move this any further forward,
Okay.
we need that.
So-
So we're not committing, we don't know dates and all that. We can work on that from there. We just need actual people
Okay.
who people know.
Okay.
The topics.
Yeah, what are the first 2 that you have?
So we were doing low vision
Okay.
and then developmental delays.
Okay. Do you need more resources for those 2 topics?
I
Like
think
speakers,
I think for low vision, I at least have a couple people, as well as I asked those people for suggestions, which would be the other thing I would do is ask if you know somebody like to speak on autism or something. If we're getting, we were thinking, and I think we talked about this last month, kind of the whole perspective of like somebody living with it, maybe a caregiver, depending on the age of the person or, how, and then maybe there's an expert in that area. So a couple of people that are living with it, a couple of people that are caring for people living with it, just to get that whole perspective. So, I mean, it could be like 3 or 4 people on any given topic. That way they can kind of work off each other and kind of,
see different
see their different,
perspectives,
what are their different perspectives, especially if there's an age range or whatever. So I think autism was one we felt would be great.
Okay.
And so if you guys have, I think that would be a good one to start with.
Well, why don't we do that for sure? Of like,
Okay.
this is what we like to focus on. And do people have contacts? Please reach out to them. Like, and we'll just maybe start with that subject, and
Yeah, I
then
think
we
that
can
makes sense.
Okay. All right. I'll reach out to Lisa, and then I'll put something together with her to send out to the whole commission.
And I would say developmental delays too, if there's something like that. And I know that's pretty broad, but it can be broad, I guess.
Okay.
And then we'll come up with questions very similar to the human library. Like, it'll be not free form. It'll be kind of guided.
Awesome. Thank you. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, thank you for that.
All right. Any other questions on that? Other business promotional items. So we got stickers in, and per the last meeting, we approved lip balm and magnets. Those have been ordered. They're not in yet. And I believe they both went. One went through Printware and one went through the place we ordered the lip balm from last year. So we should have them for the events coming up. Questions? Legislative update. Does anybody have anything specific? Just a lot to watch, I think, in general. Nothing has really been passed
Right.
at this point, but just, I think, a lot to watch, especially with on the federal level of how that's going to trickle down to the state and what it's going to affect in terms of healthcare access,
The SAVE
food,
Act.
yeah, the SAVE Act, food access to people, just all sorts of things. So as that stuff's going through, we'll just keep an eye on it. City Council, Obey, you already kind of talked about this, so the only thing was the approval of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then the date of the next regular meeting will be Monday, July 28th. So with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.